For the last few minutes here, trying to put everything in context in terms of the commitment everybody made to coming up here 3 times over 3 months. And just to put it absolutely in context, our initial objective in piloting the Learning Lunch series was simply to see if we could deliver continuing education in a different way. And so it's exceeded our expectations in terms of going beyond just trying to get a consistent understanding of what some of the technical stuff means to actually, whether it be the Cowichan or the Comox, this think microregion energy that's been unleashed. And that's the exciting part about it. And so just to give you something to think about and reflect on for today, and all this will be on the water bucket. Hopefully you've all gone there to see the other stories. You know, this is what the Now What is about today, right? Think back to this morning and Jacques Menard, and water is a unifying element, and a regional conservation strategy is a key first step. And he made that real for you. And so again, if you go back and look at his presentation this morning when you get a chance to download it from the website, you'll see what I mean. Secondly, that it's a bottom-up, you have to have a high-level language, but at the end of the day, it is a bottom-up regional team approach that's going to ensure that consistency in doing business differently, because it's the decisions that you're all making on a daily basis with people at the front counter. And that's why Dennis, your example is so critical, right, in terms of you have to know why certain things need to be done in order to do your job. And that was the message from David Hewitson and Duncan about, if the building inspectors know the why, then they can follow through on the how on the site. And the third point for today is I really urge you to take a few minutes to read The Natural City by Vic Dermott, because Vic Dermott is, he's a counselor, he sees it from the elected rep's point of view, and he's really got his act together and his thinking together in terms of getting down to go into that document, which lays it out how to do it from a local government perspective. And he's got the high-level stuff in there, but it's down to the nitty-gritty in terms of how do you actually work with the processes. And I've been in this game for over 30 years, and I've learned more in the last few weeks just in terms of the sessions I've had with Cowichan and working in terms of when people in local government are motivated, they know the system. So it gives you that power and opportunity to be able to work the change. And just in terms of CAVI, I'm not going to try and read this to you, right? But the whole point here is what you're all part of. It's inclusive, it's extensive, and it's expanding. And Glenn, don't worry, in the next iteration, it will say the town of Comox, right? Right on. Okay. And so yes, today is not the end of something; it's the beginning of the next step. So what next? What next? And actually, the last couple of weeks, 2009 has already taken off. I thought there'd be a bit of a lull in energy, with municipal elections, but Kevin and Derek and Nagi rather, and Kate, the gang's all fired up, aren't they? So where we see things going next year is a year ago in Nanaimo, that terrible storm, that December 3rd storm, is when we had the Green Infrastructure Leadership Forum, and the Courtney folks didn't make it because the highways were impassable. But we did work with the ABICC, the Association of Vancouver Island Coastal Community, the elected officials, to have a leadership forum. We put it on the table in terms of where we got to be heading is for a positive settlement strategy for the island. And we use that language, positive settlement strategy, because that means benefits exceed liabilities. I mean, why would you be in favor of a negative strategy? But the message from the elected reps was it does start neighborhood by neighborhood, watershed by watershed. It adds up. And what's exciting right now is that we do have Boker Creek and the CRD as an example of a watershed initiative which can inform a positive settlement strategy. We do have the Busy Place Creek example, which is just on the south side of Duncan. We do have the Comox Valley. These are the on-the-ground initiatives that inform, an approach where you have settlement in balance with ecology, and a vision and a task. 1786. A vision without a task is but a dream. A task without a vision is but drudgery. A vision with a task is the hope of the world. Eric Bonham found out when he was in England. Eric Bonham, I always call him the heart and soul of CAVI, and there's this picture because he couldn't be here today, but he did send an email, and I said, "This is great, Eric. Your email is now the final statement, which in terms of the vision for the island, in terms of what's happening," he said, "it's it's now appropriate to start moving towards talking in terms of Vancouver Island as a whole, in terms of sustainability, collaboration, and creative partnerships. And that's the importance of you being here today, Nagy. It's not just the Comox Valley, it's the Cowichan Valley, and it's the Nanaimo region, and the capital region. So that's it, Derek, from my point of view. We're finished.